When you're talking about economics and you're talking about the basic fundamentals of economics, what we're talking about are making choices. So each and every day, every time you go into a store, every time that you go to buy anything, you are making a choice. And these choices are voluntary. You have the ability to decide what you want to do. It may not seem like that at times, where it may seem like, well, no, I have a limited amount of money. I don't have a whole lot of choices. Well, you do. You technically do. And when you're making choices with your money, and this could be anything. This could be buying something at the store. This could be getting a loan for a house. This could be anything. There is something called opportunity cost. Now, what opportunity cost means is you have the opportunity to purchase something, to buy something. Whether you choose to or not, depending what you buy and how much it costs, there is an opportunity, but there's also a cost connected to that. So in other words, if I decide I'm at the checkout of a store, a grocery store, and I decide I want a candy bar, well, the opportunity cost might be there that I have lots of candy bars to choose from. Which one do I want? Well, there are also different sizes at different costs. So I can get a normal size candy bar, let's say, for 75 cents. Or I can get a king size candy bar for $1.25. Now the opportunity cost is, again, voluntary. What do I want? What exactly do I want, and how much am I willing to give up for that? So if I decide that I want the king size candy bar, well then it's going to cost me a little more to get that. Now the opportunity cost part of that is, okay, I gave up more money to get the king size candy bar. What could I have done later on, or even in that same store, with the money that I gave up? So that is opportunity cost. If I'm going car shopping, opportunity cost would be, well, this car here costs $15,000. The car next to it is a little more souped up and it costs $25,000. Well, now again, you're talking about opportunity cost. If I choose to go with the model that has more features to it, well, what I get is I get the added features. Maybe I get a sunroof, maybe I get leather seats. But what I've given up is more of my income, more of my cash. Opportunity cost. So every decision you make when it comes to money has a choice behind it. So there are incentives that you could say go either way. I could buy the more expensive car and the incentives would be I get a sunroof, or I can buy the car that's cheaper or least expensive, and the opportunity cost or the incentive would be that I save money. I actually save money to maybe use on something else later on. So when you see incentives, they always say it's the carrot that dangles in front of you. That what is the carrot? What am I going after that is an incentive for me to do that, to make that purchase, to make even an investment. If I want to buy things on the stock market, for instance, that's also opportunity cost and investments and incentives. But there's also consequences. So and it doesn't always have to be a bad consequence, but the consequences when it comes to the economy, to economics, is every time you buy something, there's a consequence to that. And the consequence is you just gave up some of your money to purchase that item. So the incentive might be, I'm really excited to have this. And then the consequence would be, well, how much did it cost you? And again, that goes back to opportunity cost. So when you're really looking at that, remember that behind the basics in economics, everything is a decision. And while we tend to sometimes think that it's not really a voluntary decision, if I go to the store and say, I have to buy milk, I need milk, and you may say, well, that's not really a voluntary decision. Well, it could be a voluntary decision based off of how much do I buy? Do I buy a gallon or a half gallon? What brand do I buy? There might be choices that I have of different brands. And so really it still is a choice that you're making that will kind of drive the basic economic system that we live in and the decisions that we make every day. So it could be something very small like buying a candy bar. It could be something very huge like buying your first car. But all of it involves choice and involves incentives, what's making you do it, consequences. I buy this, what does that really mean to maybe the bottom line of my pocketbook? But then also the opportunity cost. I purchased this, what does that mean in the long run going forward? Doesn't always have to be negative, but that's really at the root of what we're talking about when we say the basics of economics, no matter what it is that you're buying. We'll see you next time.